Okay, for 7.1, we need to write equations of these lines. So before we begin, I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit. And I can scroll up. All of our equations are going to be written in the form y equals m, let's write it in a different color, m x, and then plus b. And sometimes it's y equals mx minus b. But m is our slope. And remember, slope is change in y divided by change in x. And b is our y-intercept. And this is our slope. So we need to find the slope and the y-intercept of each of these four lines. So let's start with number 1. I'll call this one A. So if I zoom in a little bit on A, our y-intercept, let's make a line, is where our red line crosses this green line. And it looks like it crosses that green line right here at 2. So our y-intercept, and that's a positive 2. A negative 2 would be down here. And now we need to find our slope. And to find our slope, we pick 2 points. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So we want to find where it crosses perfectly on the grid. So here's a good point right here. And here's another good point. And there's a lot of points we can use. This is a point, and this is a point. And we want to find our change in y. So pick 2 points that are next to each other. I'm going to pick these 2 points. And I want to find out how far up and how far over I have to go. So I'm going to go up or down first. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3. And I'm going over 1. So my change in y equals 3. My change in x equals 1. So my slope is 3 divided by 1. And you can also just write that, since it's 3 over 1, you can also just write it as 3. So when I'm writing my equation y equals mx plus b, this is y equals m, which is my slope, which is 3, x, and then my y-intercept is positive 2. And there's my equation. Let's go on to letter B. We'll call this one letter B over here. And this one's a little bit trickier. If you notice, the first one we did is going up and to the right. As we move right, we're going up. This time, as we're going to the right, the line is going down. So this is going to be a negative slope. We'll talk about that in a second. So again, let's find our y-intercept. It crosses this green line. And it looks like it crosses right here at 2. So our y-intercept is positive 2. And now we have to find our slope. So pick 2 points. It doesn't matter which 2. I'm going to do this one and this one. And if you notice, if I start with my left point, I'm going down 3 into the right 1. And because I'm going down and to the right, my change in y is going to be negative 3 because I'm going down, and my change in x is still 1 because I'm still going to the right. So that means my slope, is negative 3 divided by 1, which is also just negative 3. So my equation is y equals negative 3, x plus 2. So these two graphs are almost the same, but one has a positive 3 as the slope, and one has a negative 3 as a slope. And I want you to look at the difference between those two lines. Oops. One goes up and to the right, one goes down and to the right. Let's call this one down here C. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to look for my y-intercept first. I think that's just the easiest one to find, so I look for that first. And this time it looks like my line goes through my y-intercept at -2. So this time my y-intercept is -2. And again, this line is going down and to the right. So it's going down and to the right. So that means my slope is going to be negative. So I want to find my change in y. Ooh. And I want to find my change in x. So I'm going to pick 2 points. This time I'll come up here and pick this point and this point. Start with your left point. With my left point, I'm going down 1, 2, 3. But I'm going down 3, so my change in y is -3. And I'm going to the right 1. So my x is still 1. So my slope is -3 divided by 1, which again is just -3. So same slope as letter B up here, but my y-intercept is different. My y-intercept up here is +2, and down here it's -2. So they are different lines. So my equation here is y equals, my slope is -3. And now my y-intercept is a -2, so it's going to be -3x minus 2. So it's almost the same as this one, but that one's a +2. And let's do letter D over here. So again, I'm going to do my y-intercept first. Where does it cross this y-axis? Again, it's at -2. And now let's do the slope. Pick 2 points. I'm going to pick this one and this one. But there's also these points here. And now I'm going, if I start with I'll pick these 2 points. I'm going to start with my left point, and I'm going up this time 3. And because I'm going up 3, my change in y is a +3. And I'm still going to the left, or to the right one. Sorry, to the right one. So my equation, or my slope, I'm sorry, is 3 divided by 1, which is just 3. 3 divided by 1 is 3. If you have 3 over 2, you can leave it as 3 over 2, but here we have 3 over 1. So here we have y equals +3x minus 2. So it's almost like letter A, but my y-intercept is -2 instead of +2. So all 4 of these are very similar, but they're also different. So make sure you know the difference of all 4 of these, and you will be fine on this module.